Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Of course, we have not been live streaming on the weekends because there's nothing really to live stream, and I've got a lot going on, but doesn't mean things haven't been happening on the weekends. Larson, you attended the Action Coast Wrestling show this weekend. Now, for people who were there live, you guys know what happened, but if you want to know what happened through the magic of
video,
this coming weekend, the
ideally,
vlog,
hopefully, yes, I'm gonna aim for that. Yes,
that details the the contract negotiations gone wrong. Wow.
I'll tell you what, Joe Soul, tough businessman.
Oh,
tough,
man,
tough.
Are we being outwitted by Joe DeSoul, Larson?
I mean, it's a distinct possibility.
Oh, wow.
It's a distinct possibility.
Oh, my goodness.
Distinct possibility. So we're going to be on Quizzlemania this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Back together.
Oh, yeah, man. Absolutely. Can I get a little fist bump here? Right there? There you go.
There we go. Taking on Denise Salcedo, Will Washington. I believe it's just head-to-head matchup.
Boom.
That's my understanding.
One long-ass tag match, dude.
So,
and then, I don't know. So we're going to be challenged, or there... The wording of the tweet was interesting. They're going to be challenging us for the tag titles.
I didn't know we were tag champs anymore.
I thought we were not. And so I was like, have they been vacated? Did RJ City and whoever his partner was? I forget now. I don't know who his partner was. It Sean? It was Sean.
It was Sean and RJ City that won
right.
when you were on with Alex.
Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't think we were tag champions anymore.
I mean, if we are, cool.
Did Blampier never consider that a proper defense?
Maybe.
I don't know, man. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. I'll take those titles back. Sure, why not?
Yeah,
I think we have a
absolutely.
good chance. Apparently, there's some controversy between.
Mm-hmm.
I always like saying it that way better. Controversy between Denise.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it's the Brits, man. Controversy, yeah. That's how Pat said it on SmackDown the other night too. I was excited. He said drama, controversy between Denise and Will Washington.
Yeah.
So this is a can they coexist thing. So it's a can they coexist thrown together tag team with a pre-built-in drama versus us. I don't like our chances, to be honest with you.
Nor do I.
Yeah,
Nor do I.
Ty Twinning says Quizlemania 49 is non-canon. Nice. That's awesome. Oh, man. Anyways.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Oh, man. I'll take it. So on today's episode of Going in Raw, we're going to be talking about AEW's Rampage. We're going to be talking about the G1 results from the weekend. We got our Raw preview. We're going to be giving you guys the results too. I'm assuming the Impact pay-per-view as well.
Oh, I didn't put them in there, but I could do that, yeah.
All right, that sounds good.
I didn't watch it, so I can't really add much to the whole thing. I didn't have time this weekend to watch it.
One of our favorite wrestlers, apparently, was one of many to have dodged a particular Vince McMahon bullet. We're going to talk about that. But first, could it be we're going to get another draft with the WWE coming up soon, Larson? What's going on?
Yeah, usually WWE has their annual talent draft sometime in October. I think usually early October. But according to Fightful Select, WWE Talent are speculating that this year's draft might be happening sooner, perhaps even a month sooner. Fightful is reporting that there are, quote, several Raw talent set to appear on the first SmackDown following Clash at the Castle that goes down September 9th, while SmackDown talents are scheduled to appear on the first two Raws after Clash at the Castle. That's September 5th and 12th, which has led sources within WWE to speculate a draft could happen shortly after WWE's next premium live event. I'm all for having the draft sooner, especially if Survivor Series is going to maintain any sort of brand versus brand type deal, but it really should be after WrestleMania. After WrestleMania, consider it a brand new season of Raw and SmackDown programming. With that, do the draft. I know there's sweeps, probably obligations tied to the scheduling of the draft. They think the draft's going to get numbers up, improve their fortunes when it comes to selling ads on the show. That being said, in terms of the best time of the year for the creative aspect of it, like right after WrestleMania makes all the sense. Then people on brands more than like a month and a half before Survivor Series. There's some real brand loyalty there, maybe. So maybe if they're just bumping this up a little bit to have kind of like a small draft, and then after WrestleMania have the huge draft or a larger draft. Cool.
Here's some reckless speculation for you.
Right.
I don't think they're going to do a draft after this one for a while, because here's my thing. Number one, Vince always liked to use the draft as a crutch for ratings, because it's like, oh, it doesn't matter what stories are going on. We need to pop those ratings. Triple H is a longer vision guy, and I get the feeling that this draft so soon after him taking over is basically because he's got an idea of what he wants to do. Things are not in the right place where they need to be. So what better way to do that than a draft? You accomplish several things. Number one, you get to align creatively what you want to have happen. He probably at this point already has an idea as to what he wants to do with, the titles. If they're going to stay on Roman, if they're going to split, what the deal with that is. And if he's going to do that, maybe he'll split the titles with the draft as well. Maybe that's a plot function to do that as well.
I mean, here's another idea is back when the 2016 draft happened, they just had the one title, the WWE title. When they had the hard brand split in the draft because of that, that's when they introduced the Universal Championship. So they could use the draft as motivation to introduce a new title as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They could do that and just sort of align, because he's bringing back all these people and sort of setting up the board. Why wouldn't he do something like this where he says, hey, this is the matchup. Maybe we're going to get a more sports entertainment focused SmackDown and a more pro wrestling focused Raw. Maybe he has plans for both these things in terms of how he wants each show to look and feel. And in that case, yeah, he's definitely going to have some ideas as to should certain roster members be here or there. And again, what better way to do that than a draft? But on top of that, you got it right in terms of draft should happen after WrestleMania because it's the kickoff of a new season. But also, I've never liked them being every single year. You've got so many people on your roster that you can tell long-term stories with if you know what you're doing in the storytelling department. And so a draft should be like a special thing. You exhaust all your sort of matchup possibilities. And then after a big Survivor Series, which is brand versus, I like the brand versus brand stuff, man. I think that's good stuff. After that, when you have that sense of brand loyalty, then, and it's even more shocking when you start either splitting tag teams through the draft, which I've never really liked, big names will move from one place to the next, and then you can revisit history over a longer period of time. I honestly hope that he keeps these drafts fewer and far between.
It would be ideal if that were the case, and also they did some sort of. I know this is kind of fantasy football-esque type stuff, but each brand they get to protect people from the draft pool.
No, absolutely.
We see that in sports leagues where fantasy football, for example, they're called keeper leagues.
Yeah,
you get to keep a certain number of your players, and everybody else is released out back to the draft pool for the yearly draft. Or when there's expansion in a sports league, it's the same thing. You get to protect a few players. Everybody else is eligible to be drafted. In the expansion draft. So it'd be pretty neat if Raw and SmackDown say that you get to protect 10 talents each. Everybody else is in the draft pool. And have it every 2 years instead of every year.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I agree. And I love the idea of having certain talent protected, even if it's your champions. It's like, have the Universal title be the SmackDown title, or even originating on Raw, maybe it's the Raw title. Have the WWE title be the SmackDown title. It's your flagship title. It's your flagship show at this point, just by virtue of the ratings being so good and it being on a network show, on a network channel rather. So yeah, I like the idea of doing the draft. If he needs to get it done now, so far he has earned the benefit of the doubt with me, and I think a lot of other people. So whatever he needs to do to sort of set the board so that he can then tell the stories that he wants to tell, I'm all for it. And I have a little bit of faith that he's going to not just use the draft as a ratings ploy, a ratings bump right before Survivor Series when it makes the least amount of sense. I couldn't stand that.
I know. And if you're going to move some talents around across brands for the draft that don't have them on their respective Survivor Series teams, doesn't make any sense.
Oh, that never made any sense. Yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no,
doesn't make any sense.
There are a couple of years when they got the Survivor Series completely and totally right. And you'd have the whole brand show up on the other show. And then 2019 was really good when you had all three brands. That was an awesome year.
Yeah.
And then it's sort of, in the last couple of years, I know COVID's been a thing, but also just the timing of the schedule of the draft just hasn't really made a lot of sense.
It hasn't. Let's talk about something else that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Potentially. So WWE has actually done a pretty good job of booking Gunther.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Since his main roster call up back in April, but was the former and longest reigning NXT UK champ potentially in danger of getting buried by Vince while Vince was still in charge. According to WrestleVotes, yes. WrestleVotes tweeted out, quote, following his appearance on Raw on July 4th, when I said January, those in power at the time really soured on Gunther for whatever ridiculous reason, to the point where a burial on TV was coming just a month later. Quite the difference.
Yeah. WrestleVotes they got something right lately.
Recently, I
forgot what
it was. The hour free Raw.
Yeah, that's right.
The first Triple H one. Yeah.
I believe this.
So I went back and rewatched the segment from the July 4th Raw. It was R-Truth in the ring, did a promo. Gunther comes out, squashes him.
Who knows?
And I don't recall anything after that would seem to indicate like a burial was imminent.
Oh, yeah. So wait, that was July 7th, it said?
July 4th. Raw.
Oh, July 4th.
And so it's another 3 weeks before.
Yeah, he
resigned.
had been booked good after that too. I mean, he was crushing people. Who knows? I mean, I like I said, they were right about something, so I tend to believe, they got somebody there. But
at the same time, though, we are clear to say that every source, or a lot of sources, I won't say every, a lot of sources, they have their own agendas they want to get out there too.
Yeah, I have no idea. There doesn't seem to be any evidence suggesting that. Besides, what was the last paper? Let's see, it was SummerSlam was Triple H's first one, and it didn't look like. I'll put it this way. I'll put it this way. If Gunther was going to continue to get a big push, maybe he would have landed a spot on SummerSlam defending the title.
Maybe.
And he didn't. Triple H took over right before SummerSlam, so it wouldn't have made any sense to just shoehorn him in there. Yeah. So maybe just by process of elimination there is some evidence. But, that being said, I don't know.
I mean, I will say this: the Intercontinental title not being defended on pay-per-view is kind of par for course. That's just
I know they never do that. Vince never it would have been like a year or so. I think it's still been a year. So I don't know. I really don't. Maybe I don't know. It's funny because like Gunther, he's like slimming down even more. Like seemingly he's not stopping. Like that Intercontinental match on SmackDown, phenomenal match, and he's still a phenomenal wrestler. He's looking trim these days.
He is.
And I don't know, maybe Vince was like, God damn it, Vince, he's so fucking weird. Like, it could be anything, but maybe it's true.
It could be the smallest thing. I know. I was watching it at one point. I think right when the match starts, Walter drops R-Truth with a boot, and when Truth hits the mat, Gunther kind of like stumbles over R-Truth's legs a little bit.
That's it. It was right that.
The way Truth fell, to sell the kick was kind of right under Gunther's feet. It was happenstance. Not much you could do about it. Right. It's not like Gunther fell. Just stumbled a little bit. I was like, was that it?
Oh, that was it. That was it right there. Vince saw that and immediately just saw no value in Gunther whatsoever. God damn it.
He's so uncoordinated.
He looked like a fool out there. What kind of asshole isn't precise like that? Who knows, man? God damn it, pal.
Who knows? Let's take a quick break here and get a word from our sponsor, Liquid IV. As we've mentioned, I've already fucked it up. Let's keep rolling.
Hold on.
Let's take a quick break here, get a word from our sponsor, Liquid IV. As we've mentioned several times here on the show, Steve and I, we're playing basketball every week. I even went out today, worked on my jumper, and we've both been using Liquid IV to keep ourselves hydrated while we're playing basketball, especially during these hot summer months.
Man, it is really easy to get dehydrated out there when it's been so hot. I think it's going to be like 102 today.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like 107 later in the week.
Oh my gosh. And here's the thing. If I get dehydrated, I get one of those dehydration headaches and my day is completely shot. I can't be productive at all. I can't edit. I can't write. I can't do anything. I just end up laying on my bed, staring at the ceiling, Larson.
Yeah, I hear you. And as you know, when we're out in the court trying to ball each other up, I sweat a lot. So staying hydrated is crucial to me playing lockdown defense, hitting some threes, and getting that win, which is why Liquid IV has become a huge part of my weekly basketball routine. Since I've been using Liquid IV during and after our games, I've noticed my energy levels have been better while playing, and I don't feel as sore when we're done.
Same here, man. And Liquid IV is super easy to use. You just put 1 stick of Liquid IV in 16 ounces of water, and then bang, I'm good to go. Liquid IV contains 5 essential vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C, and has 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks, which means it hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than water alone. You also get a choice of up to 10 flavors, including Concord grape, lemon lime, pina colada, and my personal favorite, tropical punch. Sometimes, Larson, I like to take half a tropical punch and I take half a lemon lime and you just dump them in with each other. And then you don't have just 10 flavors. You get 10 flavors. You just mix all those flavors and make infinite flavors, Larson.
It's a flavor explosion. I've literally gone through an entire pack of lemon ginger the last few weeks. In fact, both my wife and I have been using Liquid IV when we've been exercising or we're going to be out in the sun. It's become such a huge part of our routine. I had to order 3 more packs to get us through the rest of this month.
So grab your Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code RAW at checkout. That's 25% anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code RAW at liquidiv.com.
Anyways, you want to talk a pay-per-view that neither of us watched? I'm talking about Impact Emergence. We can do results.
Hey, man, I saw plenty of Twitter clips.
I saw a few.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. We cover Impact on a weekly basis.
We do. We should at least give results. Absolutely.
On a weekly basis. So, yeah, no, I'll give you guys my thoughts on what I did see on Twitter. How's that?
I will say this. At least I won Impact predictions for the month.
We didn't do Impact predictions. I knew you were going to say that shit.
We did do Impact predictions. We did them on Friday's show.
Well, then
they didn't mean anything.
They didn't
mean
anything. They didn't mean anything.
Matter. Still won.
You know what?
Only got 1 match wrong.
Still right here.
It could be right back here.
Still right here.
Pretty soon. September 1st. Could be right back there.
September 1st?
Yeah.
What, at the G1?
Well, I mean, you get to even if you lose the G1, you get to keep it for the rest of the month.
No, I'm just going to send it to Enforcer.
Well, assuming he wins, yeah, okay.
Well, I thought you said your only path was a tie with me. You're like a million points. You're like a million points behind right now.
I'm not a million points. I'm 12 behind Enforcer, and I could reduce that.
That's a lot of points right there. That's a lot of points.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. We're talking about the G1 already. That's later in the show. But for the semifinal, final, points values are higher.
You're down by
so I could overcome Enforcer's lead.
What's the fight? If you pick the final winner, how many points?
10 points.
I thought we had brought that back down to I don't know, it's 5 or something or 7 or something like that.
No, I suggested we do 2.
Plus, you and I both have a 5-point penalty on the horizon.
Yeah, no,
because we didn't even do the semifinal match.
We didn't do the semifinals, right?
All right, let's talk about Emergence. Let's
do this. Yeah, so the Brian Myers successfully defended his digital media championship against Bhupinder Gujar in the kickoff show, and then the only title change I believe we had for the night, I think, was Chelsea Green and Deanna Prazo defeating Rosemary and Taya for those tag titles.
Correct. In the kickoff show, yeah.
The only match I got predicted incorrectly.
Yeah. Well, didn't matter. It didn't mean anything.
Mike Bailey called momentum.
Oh, you know how that works. That's called that. You know what that is? It's go home math, man. Doesn't work that way.
Momentum.
Mike Bailey has all the momentum right now, defeating Jack Evans by pinfall. For that X division. Not a shocking outcome there, Mike Bailey. You on your short list for candidates for Wrestler of the Year.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, he's really good, man.
He is really good. Violent by Design, as we predicted, defeated Chris Sabin. and Kushida. So it was Eric Young and Diener. Interesting.
Oh, not the confused cowboy.
No.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go.
He's trying to show Diener how it's done.
Yeah.
Eric Young is. Then Bandito defeated Ray Horace.
12. They get 113. Is that the longest match? No, it's not. Oh, my God. Not even close. That Josh Alexander, Alex Shelley match was almost a half hour long.
Mm-hmm,
oh, my God. Is it getting rave reviews?
I don't know.
I didn't hear anything. I didn't see any Twitter clips about that one. Did he hit him with both the C4 spike and the ankle?
Well, it says by pinfall, won by pinfall here. So,
oh man, okay.
I'm guessing it was C4.
All right.
Then Sami Callihan defeated Steve Macklin.
This was a mess. I watched.
My understanding is that this match was kicked out at first, and then Scott D'Amore restarted it, and then Callihan won the restart.
Right, yeah. And then they were like spitting all over each other and stuff. Like Cutler spat on Callihan, and then Callihan licked the spit and slapped him. That's disgusting.
Gross. You know what me winning Impact predictions is, Steve? That's me winning a championship contender match.
And you know how that goes.
Sometimes I win the championship.
There's no path in wrestling in which what you just did here on essentially going in Raw main event helps you out, man.
I don't tell you.
I do. You know what? I do like your optimism though, because as this wall that Enforcer is building, between him and us.
Yeah.
You're constantly, looking for ways, and your hopes are always high that you're going to find some sort of weird path to victory there.
I mean, there's a path there. We'll tie at the end if things go exactly my way. I have to cash in Money in the Bank, which I have, and then I can, as soon as I get a point or more. Not the 0. I win predictions for them.
All right. Well, maybe you're right. Hey, look, you know what? No. Yes. I think you're going to do it. I think you are going to do it.
The odds are not in my favor. I got long odds.
Look, man, I think it's going to happen. I'm going to send this to you.
You don't have to send it to
right now. I'm going to send it to you today.
You don't have to do that because I haven't won yet. Oh, you just don't want to take it to the post office and mail it to Enforce. You want me to have to do that. That's what it is.
No, I'm trying to jinx your chances.
Oh, that's what it is. So Honor No More. They finally won a match. They beat Bullet Club. So now they got to stay together. And then Taven and Bennett get a title shot against Good Brothers.
Finally, they get that title shot. Right on.
Yeah, they'll probably lose that, though.
They're going to lose that. Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan Grace defeated Mia Yim. She retains the Knockouts title. And then almost half-hour match. Josh Alexander defeated Alex Shelley.
Jordan Grace ain't going to have that title long, by the way. Because you saw what happened after that?
No.
Masha came out and gave her a picture of her with her fucking bloody X through it.
Oh, yeah. Masha's getting that belt.
She should, too. Masha's like the best thing they got going right now. It's awesome.
I know. She's great.
Yeah,
Masha's
man. She's
awesome.
going to snowplow her straight to hell, man. It's going to be great. There's your Impact Emergence results. I believe if you're like an Ultimate Insider, you can check that pay-per-view out right now.
Yeah, on their Impact's YouTube.
It's a pretty good deal. What is it? Is it just
$5? $5 or $10 a month?
$5. I think it's only $5 a month on their YouTube channel memberships, and you get to watch
all
their weekly shows and everything. Yeah. It's a fun show. Let's talk about
the next show is what? Oh, Victory Road is coming up. I don't know what the date is though.
That's not early October.
That's September.
Which one's in
Bound for Glory is October?
Yeah, the big
7th.
one. Bound for Glory is October. Yeah, Victory Road, September.
Is September? Yeah,
right on. That's cool. SmackDown, the reign of Paul Levesque continues, and more telestrator for Pat McAfee.
Oh,
how happy do both Pat McAfee and Michael Cole come off these days with Vince not around?
I mean, they seem relaxed.
Very much so. Cole goes beyond relaxed. He's giddy. Cole is downright giddy. He is like giggling. Oh, man, it's so nice to see. So we had the telestrator for Pat McAfee with 7 different ways of pooping your pants with a couple of jobbers who were going to take on, I forget who.
It was Hit Row, the returning Hit Row.
So let's talk about that. So Triple H continuing to bring back the people who were released under Vince McMahon. Hit Row, obviously no Swerve Strickland, but the 3, Top Dollar, B-Fab, and Shanti the Adonis came back and as a tag team beat
Or the names I have written down
Brandon
here, Steve.
Scott and Trevor Irvin.
Good job. Are you reading my notes or is that memory?
Bang, right here, man. Don't grunt at me.
No brain fog for you, huh?
Right. What'd you think about this Liv Morgan, Shayna Baszler contract signing?
It didn't overstay its welcome, at least. It's stuff like this where I think where Ronda's booked well, where she's got an edge, she's a little bit defiant, maybe not out and out heel yet, but it's this type of booking that's going to get her. I mean, we saw it on Friday. This type of booking that's going to get her over with the crowd again. You know?
Yeah.
Because she came out and dumped all that money on the table. Crowd was chanting for her. She took out security a little bit. Doing stuff like that is going to get her over. And I think it's more fitting her skill set than going to the ring and having to talk for 10 minutes.
The thing that got over with me big time, she leaves. Shayna shows up. We finally get to see on screen the chemistry the relationship between Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. That they wasted no time. Triple H wasted no time giving us that.
And what did Ronda say to Shayna?
You used to be a killer. You used to be a killer. Yeah.
Because Shayna says to her, that's not how you get ahead here. You got to play by the rules.
Yeah. And Ronda just dismissively says, you used to be a killer, and then walks off. That gets Shayna thinking with her Triple H-inspired return denim vest. They can't tell me that didn't mean nothing. Walks to the and cuts a great old-school NXT-style Shayna Baszler promo on Liv Morgan. Says, you got a great target on you.
Yep.
Liv comes out. And crowd, once again, you tapped out. You tapped out. That was good stuff. I thought that was a pretty effective segment. Liv left Shayna Baszler. Triple H, he understands what it is, man. He knows that people like people doing cool shit and beating each other up.
Yeah.
It's a pretty simple formula. You don't need 15 minutes of talking.
Nope. It's doing cool stuff. Just get to the point. Be efficient.
Yeah. Yeah.
People generally don't like 20-minute promos unless it's really good and it's really advancing a story.
Speaking
of promos, let's talk about this real quick. So Karrion Kross, of course, he made his return last week with Scarlett. We didn't see him in ring in terms of match Friday. Sorry. He did cut a promo, and Scarlett did come out to send a message to the Usos. They're obviously just continuing what he was doing in NXT, which is smart because it was working there.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
His promo was solid. He knows what his targets are. Drew, Bloodline. It's going to be interesting to see after Clash at the Castle how his story advances, especially as it pertains to Roman. Is that going to be maybe the Survivor Series match? Who knows? And then after the draft, or if there's a draft after Clash at the Castle, see where he ends up. Is he going to stay at? I wouldn't be surprised if he stays on SmackDown, because if he's on Raw, people are going to maybe associate his first tenure on Raw a bit more than they would actually want. I get the feeling that not only is depth kind of low on SmackDown, that might be one of the reasons he's there, is to distance him from what they did with him on Raw previously.
That could be. I look at him and Drew as sort of the two. I don't know. I guess over there on Raw, you've got, obviously Kevin Owens has a renewed focus. It'll be just interesting to see how the draft shakes out, because I think you're right. I think that's going to determine a lot. And I look at Cross and you think that Triple H would want to carry that momentum. Him and Drew are both really good candidates to get some, at least a good shot at it. I know Drew's getting his shot at Clash of the Castle. But yeah, I don't know. It's a possibility he stays there on SmackDown with Roman. But then I don't know. That sort of, doesn't that immediately set up Roman versus Karrion Kross? And do you want to do that match like within a couple months of him coming onto the show, and then he just loses to Roman?
No, I would. That'd be something I'd definitely take my time with.
Yeah.
Like Karrion Kross needs to feud with Drew McIntyre after Drew loses at Clash at the Castle.
Yeah.
Through the fall.
Yeah. And then we had that killer main event.
Yeah.
Shinsuke Nakamura versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Champion. We got another mid-card title video package We've been seeing him over on Raw for the U.S. title. Now we have them paying homage to the Intercontinental Championship.
And Michael Cole, several times throughout the show, referred to it as, I think he used the term workman title.
Yeah.
The title that is defended all the time, like on every TV show. Historically, it's generally put on one of, if not the best wrestlers.
Yeah.
On that particular brand or in WWE. So
it's a practice that fell out of favor with Vince. Honestly, like a decade ago. Every once in a while, they'll put it on your sort of workhorse guy, but it never really lasts. It hasn't been that way for a while. But of course, when Triple H was carrying it, it was the stepping stone title. It was like, hey, these guys are the future. This is what's going to be coming next. And over the years, it sort of, landed on either workhorse types or, sort of guys who would be hitting the main event. After not too long.
I mean, especially like in the 90s and the Attitude Era, especially if you got the Intercontinental title, that meant that they were priming you for a potential main event push.
Right,
and that was kind of your first test to see if you were ready for it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Before Austin got to the main event scene, Intercontinental champ. Same with The Rock. Same with Triple H.
Triple H, yeah.
But that kind of pipeline now it doesn't really exist.
You could even see it on people that they thought might, like, they put it on Billy Gunn, but obviously he wasn't main event. Ken Shamrock, which I always thought that dude could have been main event material, but I'm pretty sure Bruce Pritchard said something about like his backstage reliability wasn't, what they wanted it to be. Plus he never really seemed like he had such sort of like odd momentum with the fans. Like sometimes the fans totally bought into Shamrock and sometimes they were I don't really see it. But yeah, it definitely seems like, and again, it makes me wonder if Triple H is definitely going to be separating the titles at the draft, or is this going to be a situation where he's going to keep both those titles on Roman and try to elevate those other titles to make USA and Fox happier? I don't know, but I don't know.
But regardless, it's a good idea to elevate the big
absolutely,
titles and make them valued, because far too often under Vince, that hadn't been the case. I guess we could jump into it. SmackDown opened up with a match.
First match.
For the women's tag title tournament, you had Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah taking on Xia Li and Shotzi. Again, they gave the match time. Solid bout.
Yeah.
Shotzi had her old music back, but no Tank yet.
Yet.
Gotta
build it.
Exactly. And Raquel ended up getting the win for her team. So Shotzi and Xia were going for a double leg sweep on Raquel. Aaliyah breaks that up. Raquel hits her finish on Xia Li to get the win. They advanced the tournament. They faced the winner of Natalya and Sonya versus Zoe Stark and Nikita Lyons. Natalya and Sonya are going to win that probably.
Yeah.
And advance. It's going to be interesting to see who. I would imagine it's going to be Natalya and Sonya from the SmackDown side of the bracket make it to the finals, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you've got, I don't know, like Kai and Sky. They're like, I don't know, are they on the same side of the bracket as these two?
No, the left side is
SmackDown,
Raw,
the other side is Raw,
and SmackDown is SmackDown, and then the one NXT team. Yeah.
Okay. I could see it being this pair right here, maybe against Kai and Sky, Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah, just to make it a face heel thing.
Yeah, that could be.
Maybe,
that could be.
After that, we had a Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre Karrion Kross video package. Then we had a Karrion Kross promo. Now he's backstage with Scarlett, and he said, "In the midst of chaos, opportunity presents itself. Last week, that's what happened. The rebirth of a darkened soul. Drew and Roman, the chosen ones, must be nice." They were cast out of, he says, we were cast out of paradise, disregarded like a broken toy to be forgotten. But we didn't forget. He says, we prepared and we waited for the perfect time to strike with vengeance. Everyone knows about the bloodline, but now we're going to show them the new timeline. Because no matter where the time is told, in the end, everybody pays the toll, tick-tock. And then this is very clever. He sort of peers around the corner. You see in the background around the corner is Drew McIntyre in the distance waiting to go out there for his music to hit. He doesn't know that Cross is back there with the camera guy cutting the promo on him. He's just, oh, look at me. He's waiting for his music to hit. So then it does, and he goes off into the distance into the crowd.
Yeah. Yep. And then he comes out for a promo. He says, an exciting time at WWE. There's a lot of new faces showing up. Let's start with Karrion Kross, who jumped me last week. A lot of people are going to rant or think that he's going to rant and rave about the horrible things he's going to do to Kross. He says, but I get it. Kross has been waiting for a year. And what a larger impact can you get than attacking the number one contender and then staring down the undisputed champion? He says, here's the problem with that. That number one contender is me. And I'm gonna back it up and deliver this message. He says, my hands are a little full right now, but when the time is right, we're gonna play a little game, and it's gonna be multiple choice, and you're gonna get three options. Kross: 1, knockout; 2, the hospital. Another mention of hospital, not local medical facility. 3, the graveyard. He says, and I'll send Kross back to the dungeon he crawled out of. He says, also, I suggest you check out my match against Roman at Clash. Yeah, and he says, I'm about to break some shocking news to the crowd. Roman isn't here. He says, I got to be honest with Roman. You've been surrounding yourself with yes men and believing your own hype. He says, Roman is as good as he says he is, but the last 2 matches against Brock, it took family, weapons, and sacrificing Paul Heyman to get the job done. But Roman, you're facing me this time. I'm the man who beat Brock Lesnar in main event of WrestleMania with my bare hands. He calls Roman delusional because the island of relevancy, it's not even a real place.
It's not a real place. It does not exist. Yeah.
Doesn't exist. So then Scarlett comes to the ring, and she walks to the apron. Usos then attack Drew from behind. Drew fights them off a little bit until Jay hits him with a super kick. Usos hit the 1D, and then Jay tells Scarlett to tell Kross if he steps up to Roman, Roman's going to put his ass down. And Scarlett says Kross has the same message for them.
And they didn't mic it. And I love that because you just have to listen to what they're saying, without them talking into a mic or something goofy like that.
Yep.
I really like this. I thought this was really good. I thought Scarlett, not sort of expecting the Usos to be there and sort of, just rolling with that. I thought the whole thing was really, really well done, man.
Yeah.
After that, we had an Intercontinental title video package. It was really well done again, emphasizing the workhorse nature of it. After that, we had Ivar versus Kofi Kingston, but during the new, more vicious Viking Raiders entrance, Kofi comes out and just freaking annihilates them with kendo sticks, but then they start using their shields on him. Ivar throws his shield at Kofi, and then Eric throws Kofi into Ivar's shield. Eric drags Kofi towards the barricade. Ivar hits Kofi with a splash off it. Yeah. This is pretty brutal right here. Kofi got his ass handed to him.
He did.
You gotta come at them with more than a kendo stick. They got those tough ass shields, man.
Yeah. So then Sammy walks up to Roman's locker room. I don't know why Roman has a locker room, but he's not even there. It's been established. Anyway.
He's tribal chief, man. Contract.
So he knocks on the door. Usos come out. And Sammy says, I've been doing a lot of thinking, everything they said last week. The Usos said last week. You're right. And then Drew runs in, lays out the Usos. And Sammy, he runs off.
Yeah. Pat McAfee says something like, oh, look at Sammy looking like a track star.
Yeah.
Running out of there. Oh, man. Speaking of Pat McAfee, he was on one, man.
Oh, man.
So next up, we had Brandon Scott and Trevor Irvin. And Hit Row comes out. So Pat's got the telestrator out to talk about these jobbers, and he's using all the functions of the telestrator because the telestrator is seemingly just for drawing squiggly lines. Now you can have little numbers pop up, and so he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of poop coming out of their pants. They might need some Depends at the end of this match.
Oh, that was so good.
It was amazing. It was great to see Hit Row as well.
It was. So Hit Row, they get the win. Drop kick, belly to back combo on Irvin. And after that happened, Pat says, "Yeah, I knew these enhancement talent. We're gonna poop their pants, poop their pants." Yep. So after that, Hit Row have a promo. They all kind of reintroduce themselves. B-Fab says, "We're Hit Row, the OG3."
Yeah. After that, we had a Jean LaBelle memorial. Of course, he was like I think big into like training stunt people for one thing. Like I think and other wrestlers and all sorts of shit.
It sounds
apparently.
like he did a lot of different things. yeah,
right. I think it was Shayna Baszler had a quote from him, said something like, "I got paid peanuts for every real fight that I won, and millions for every real REEL fight that I lost."
Oh,
yeah. So
interesting.
That was pretty clever. Anyways, he's a legend. After that, we had Gunther and Ludwig chat backstage. Kayla steps in for an interview. Was Gunther? Gunther says this.
I forgot there was a Nakamura thing. I think I accidentally fast forwarded earlier on the show.
Yeah, it was just it was an interview, and he said, "Go tell Gunther, come on."
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then Gunther says, "I heard what Nakamura said. Now go tell Shinsuke that tonight he will suffer at the hands of the ring RL."
Yeah,
I don't think she relayed that message though.
No, I don't think so. And then we had the Liv Morgan, Shayna Baszler contract signing. Before that happened, Ronda Rousey comes to the ring. She comes to the crowd, puts the duffel bag on the table, and grabs the mic. Says, I know I'm not supposed to be here because I'm suspended due to my actions at SummerSlam." She says, "I was also fined a lot of money." And then she dumps out the duffel bag, and there's tons of cash inside. And she says, "Well, I doubled it. Because let's be honest, it's not be the last time. Being the baddest gets expensive, but I can afford it." So security comes down to ringside. She says, "Well, I was going to leave on my own anyways, but you sent security. So if you want to make me leave, let's see how that works out." So she gets out of the ring. One of the security guards puts her hand on Ronda's shoulder. Ronda hits her with a judo throw. About to put on the arm bar. Just lets go and just walks away.
Yeah.
So she walks up the ramp, met by Shayna on the ramp in the exchange we mentioned earlier, where Shayna says, "Here you got to play by the rules to get what you want." And that's when Ronda says, "Used to be a killer." And she just walks away from her.
Yeah.
So Shayna comes to the ring. Yeah.
She says, "I won the gauntlet match against the entire women's locker room. Liv is next on the list, and she's going to be the next to fall." So she signs the contract. Says, "Liv, you got a good target on you with that injured arm. Can't wait for Cardiff because I'm going to tear you apart limb by limb." Says, "Or maybe I'll just put you to sleep." She says, "Either way, I'm walking out of Cardiff women's champion." So Liv comes out. She walks to the ring, grabs a mic, tells Shayna that you won't beat me. She says, "You're kind of like a bootleg Ronda Rousey, and I know that because I beat the real deal twice, and at Cardiff, I'm going to beat you too." Crowd starts chanting, "You tapped out." Liv signs a contract, holds up the title. Shayna grabs Liv's injured arm, slams it against a table, twists it, stomps it. Shayna tries to put Liv up on the top rope, but Liv is able to reverse that and put Shayna through a table with a bulldog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it wasn't a super long contract signing. There's a lot of things happening.
This is going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
This is going to be an interesting match at Cardiff. I don't know how it's going to play out.
It is. Then Sammy, he's backstage. He's pacing. The Usos step up to him. Jimmy asks Sammy, "Hey, where'd you run off to?" And Sammy's like, I was getting security to come help you."
Yeah.
And Jay says, "I'm tired of this. No more excuses. If you don't step up, you're going to get left behind." And he turns to Jimmy and says, "Let's call Drew's ass to the ring."
Yeah. Then we had a WrestleMania lunch party recap. Looked like a grand old time, Larson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. After that, the Usos come to the ring. Jay tells Drew to pick a partner of his choosing and come get this damn work. So Drew comes down, and then he has a match against the Usos. And partway through,
Sans partner at first.
Yeah,
yes.
At first he's like, "Yeah, that's cool. I'll take you both on." So they start beating up Drew. Madcap Moss runs down. I'm so happy that they're still using Madcap Moss.
Same.
We've seen this guy put in a ton of work. Knock everything, every shitty thing that Vince gave him out of the park. So it's great to see them build this guy back up. Hopefully he'll lose the silly Madcap name. So he becomes Drew's partner for this match. And then SmackDown rolls on once they end up clotheslining the Usos out of the ring.
Yep. Match happens. So at one point, towards the finish, Usos are set up for a 1D. Moss pulls Jay out of the ring. Jay clotheslines Moss the timekeeper area. Jimmy's going for a Samoan drop on Drew. Drew escapes that, hits a headbutt. Jimmy responds with a super kick, but then Drew hits him with a Claymore to get the win. So earlier on, Sammy had come out to ringside to try to distract him. Mm-hmm. Drew is staring at him, So Jay gets in the ring and tries to hit Drew with the super kick. Drew catches it, hits him with the future shock, calls for a Claymore, and then Sammy runs to the ring, pushes Jay out of the ring, so Sammy eats the Claymore. He's stepping up.
Yeah, he's stepping up. That's all I wanted him to do, just step up. And then you can step out with the bloodline. That's all. Just one time. That's all I want. I'm going to mark out so hardcore when that happens. What are the odds of that actually happening? What are the odds now? Minimal? More than 10%?
12. Maximum.
Wow.
12%.
Oh, my goodness.
Prepare to be disappointed. That's all I got to say to you, man.
Up next, we had Maximum Male Models in a photo shoot. But then Max tells they got to shut this down because Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, a.k.a. the Humbertos Garza, Carrillo says, if Max wants Maximum Male Model really to take off, you should sign us. And by the way, this kind of makes me sad. I know it's what Max wants, and I'm cool with it. I miss the low talking. I thought that shit was funny. He's still doing the close talking.
Yeah, and Angel Garza's reaction to the close talking was pretty good.
I think that's a direct sort of like they're going to get rid of it, and so they're sort of writing it out with this kind of thing. Because, he close talks Angel. He says, come on, we are the most handsome tag team in WWE. And so Max gets in Angel's face, says, you're just not Maximum Male Model material. Carrillo says, we weren't talking to you. We were talking to Maxine. Woo! Max Dupree did not like that.
No. Anyways, photo shoot continues. Then we get a Nakamura Walter video package. Following that, Ricochet interview. He's talking about being more locked in now that he's been in a long time. He says he's feeling like he was shot out of a cannon. It feels good, and he's ready to hit full speed.
Didn't say light speed, man.
Nope.
Oh, so close.
At what? Warp speed. It was warp speed.
And then Mustafa Ali was light speed?
Yes.
That makes sense, yeah.
Speed at what it is that lies ahead. Doesn't matter if it's Nakamura or Gunther. They each need to know that I'll be waiting in line, and then he's decked by Corbin. He just drops him, and he says to Ricochet, oh, you thought we were done? We're just getting started.
After that, we had Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark on a video package. This was kind of corny because they're just like thrown together and like they're trying to do a promo to the camera, and it's like it doesn't work, and Nikita's awkward anyway. So, anyways, yeah, they're gonna get beat. After that, we had our main event: Shinsuke Nakamura versus Gunther, and
hell of a match.
They gave this like 20 minutes or so, and yeah, man, just full of like Nakamura's chest by the end of this. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. But still,
there's a handprint.
There is evidence there. There is a handprint for sure.
Yeah. So Nakamura is targeting Walter's right arm, his chopping arm.
Yeah.
Early and often. And Walter's doing a good job of selling it. There's a couple instances where he tries to do something and his arm just won't cooperate. Eventually, Nakamura hits a sliding German suplex. Ludwig comes over, gets in Nakamura's face. Nakamura tells him, 9. No. Walter then hits a drop kick on Nakamura when Nakamura gets back in the ring. He's looking for a powerbomb. Arm fails him. Nakamura escape, hits the knee, looks for Kinshasa. Gunther counters with the clothesline, covers. Nakamura kicks out. So then Walter hits a chop, locks on a sleeper. Nakamura uses Walter's bad arm to break the hold. In the end, though, Gunther drop kicks Nakamura in the back, followed powerbomb to get the win.
Yep. Killer match right there. Nakamura looked at the end like he wasn't done with this. I know that maybe they'll move on, but they kept on cutting back to Nakamura on the ramp there, just seething, and it's like, oh man, are they going to keep this going? They should if they know what's good for him, man.
I know. And Nakamura had some awesome new gear. It was black and gold.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was awesome, man.
We also had a Rampage, and if you're a Trustbusters fan, you probably like this episode.
They exist? Trustbusters fans exist?
I don't know.
I like Daivari.
I like Daivari a lot. Arya Daivari is really good.
I like Daivari.
And I'll say this about Parker Boudreaux.
Oh, come on, man. Don't try to...
At least in AEW, they let him show off that he has some athleticism. Because for a guy his size, he moves pretty well.
That's kind of the extent of it, though, man.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing. As a wrestler, he is far from polished.
Yeah.
It's obvious that his arsenal is still fairly minimal.
Yeah. That's
I
mainly
don't
the
know
thing.
why.
He doesn't really do much in the ring.
I know, and it still it bugs me that they have so many other talents on the roster who aren't doing anything, who are exceptionally talented.
Yeah.
And then, maybe they're signing Parker, they're having him on TV for a little bit, and they're going to send him off to Ring of Honor to develop there. And if that's the case, all right. But I can probably think of at least a dozen contracted talents on AEW's roster I would much rather see getting this TV time.
Yeah, we sound kind of like broken records, man. Because we've been saying the same thing, and this is just another example. It's like here's a metaphor for you. Alabama, she has way too many toys, and she gets bored with them really quick. And that's the vibe I get, man. She has a couple. She has a couple that she plays with a lot.
Yep.
But too often, she'll just grab a new toy. She'll get one and it'll just disappear. And I get the feeling that's the same thing that's happening in AEW. So yeah, it is what it is. I mean, look, there again, it's on. Yeah, there wasn't even really like that one match. Even Rampage usually has like that one match where it's like, oh man, okay, well we got that one match.
I mean, the main event was solid. It was a solid bout between Arya Daivari and Orange Cassidy.
There was some cool stuff in the mixed tag match. Because when you put Sammy and Dante Martin together in a match, there's going to be some cool shit happening there. But and then the Danielson promo is pretty decent, But it's there's nothing new there. It was like, we know what he's going to say. He's going to say, you could be a great pro wrestler, but you're obsessed with this sports entertainment stuff. Well, it's the same fucking thing. He's going in there putting on great matches. What does it matter what he calls himself?
Oh, I know. Well, I kicked off the show. Danielson comes out, says, been wrestling for almost 23 years. I don't feel like I'm ever going to be 100%, but I don't need to be 100%. I need to live 100%. That sounds like a movie line, like something from Point Break. He says, and there's nothing that makes me feel more alive than being in the wrestling ring.
I need to live on. You're right. I need to live 100%, buddy.
He says Daniel Garcia is talking about wanting to end my career. So that's fine. I'm not going to leave this ring on my own. But regardless, my career is not going to end on Wednesday. So Garcia comes out, says, it's no secret that you are my hero. But I come out here and you're just making excuses. You sound like you're getting ready to lose. And this part I actually really like. And Garcia goes, Brian, I don't know how much longer I can do this. You retire, you come back. You retire, you come back. You can't keep putting me through this, Brian. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
He says it hurts me it hurts me when you hurt, and it makes me want to hurt you. He says when I step in the ring with you next week, I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to hurt you so bad that it'll end your career. You just won't call me the Dragon Slayer. You'll have to call me the greatest technical sports entertainer of all on the planet. And Brian says, I'm okay with people saying they're going to end my career. Ever since I came to AEW, I've been talking about violence. I love violence, and violence begets violence. What really pisses me off is the sports entertainment bullshit. It says we all know what Jericho has been shoving down your throat about the sports entertainment stuff. Garcia, you're one of the people I mentioned first when I talked about starting the Blackpool Combat Club, because I saw you at 21 go 60 minutes in front of 250 people showing the best wrestling technique I'd seen a young talent in years. So he says, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to think about this when I'm stomping your face in on Wednesday. Do you want to be the best technical sports entertainer on the planet? Or if I'm your hero, do you want, Garcia's kind of he's like ashamed of himself. So he's trying not to make eye contact with Brian Danielson. And Danielson grabs him by the face and says, look at me when I'm talking to you. Do you want to be the best technical wrestler in the world?
And then there was a small touch as he's leaving. Garcia takes his goofy hat off, the cap that he's got on. He takes that off, and he just looks like, he just got punked out, which he kind of did.
He did. He got humiliated.
Yeah, humiliated. After that, we had CM Punk Returns video package. And then we had AAA mixed tag titles in action. Sammy and Ty Mello versus Dante Martin and Sky Blue. And there was some fun stuff here. Yeah, there was some fun stuff here.
There was some fun stuff.
The bit where Dante launches himself using Ty, steps on her, And
for the Destroyer, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. I mean, that's not a fucking metaphor for AEW's women's division. I don't know what is.
Saw Ty Mello. That's gonna take some getting used to. Getting the win here. She hits Sky Blue with a pump kick and then the Ty KO to get the win.
Yup. After that, we had a Lucha Brothers promo. Penta says they're coming back for gold. Penta tells Andrade that this isn't finished. Next week, Pac returns and Death Triangle reunites, and we fight for the Trios title.
Yep. Then we get Parker Boudreaux versus Sonny Kiss. It was awesome to see Sonny Kiss back on TV.
Absolutely, yeah.
But then Parker wins pretty quickly. Choke slam. Then he hits his finish to get the win.
Mm-hmm. After that, so Andrade.
This was actually pretty funny.
This is pretty funny because Andrade's just got the worst interpersonal dynamic skills here. This is good stuff.
Yeah, this was pretty great. So Andrade is introducing Roosh to Butcher and Blade. Roosh is like, "Hi, nice to meet you." And he says, "Of course you know Private Party." And Roosh just pretty much says, "I don't like him." And Andrade says, myself, Roosh, Dragon Lee, we're going to win the trios titles. And then he says, he's setting up to say that Private Party, you need to win the tag titles, but you've already lost to Keith Lee. Mm-hmm. And then Isaiah Cassidy says, Andrade, people like you have been sleeping on us for a long time, but that changes next week because we're going to wake y'all up. And Andrade's like, I don't care. Just bring me the titles.
Yeah, I don't care. After this, we had Gun Club versus Beardhausen, Eric Redbeard, and Danhausen there taking on Gun Club. We got to hear that wonderful spa music. So relaxing. In the end, though, Austin hits Danhausen with a famouser to get the win. Billy gets in the ring, and he's giving his boys some shit. Says, no wonder the crowd calls you ass boys. I miss the Acclaimed. He says, you guys need to toughen up. He says, because you're not doing what I taught you. He says, next week on Dynamite, you got another match to prove yourselves. And then Billy leaves, and Stokely again offers up his business card.
Mm-hmm. Then we got a Swerve in Our Glory interview. Keith Lee says, when he got to AEW, Isaiah Cassidy was a challenger, and I dismantled him. Then Mark Quinn jumps in. I dismantled him, too. Says, if Private Party didn't have a chance against him, what makes them think they got a chance against both of us? Do the math. And then Swerve says, Private Party, not even the top 5, but we're going to allow you to have this match anyways, because, as Lee says, no ranked team will. And then Private Party can only just swerve in their glory.
Mm-hmm. We had a very brief Hook interview. Shivani asks Hook if the FTW title is always an open challenge one, and he says, yep. And then they're interrupted by a fella named Zach Clayton, who's a reality TV star, superstar.
Who I'd never heard of. Never heard of this guy. Never heard of him. I did look up. Apparently, he does have some experience as a wrestler, so it's not just...
That's good.
But I had no idea who this person was. Again, another situation where there's at least a dozen, if not more, AEW talents I'd rather see in this situation. Get some TV time rather than Zach Clayton.
If this dude gets a Zach Clayton is all elite graphic before Willow Nightingale, I'm fucking quitting, man. I'm actually not quitting. That's just, I like to use exaggerative terms like that. Yeah, it's hyperbole. But what the fuck, man?
Yeah, I know.
If this dude gets one of those stupid how did Parker Boudreaux get that graphic and Willow didn't?
I don't know.
I hope it's because she doesn't want it.
It could be.
I hope it's because she's like, I'm waiting for Uncle Paul to give me a call.
That could be.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, this guy, he says, I'm going to take your title from you and bring it to New Jersey, God's country where it belongs. And then he challenges him to a match next week.
Yawn. Could care less.
Oh man! After that,
there's nothing interesting about it.
I know. Guy stumbles through his fucking promo.
Hook's gonna beat him in 90 seconds.
Yeah, it's gonna be
It's not even worth the. It's not. Just put some people on TV that we haven't seen in a little while. I don't care about Zach Clayton. Zach Clayton's not going to bring people to watch Rampage.
It does nothing for Hook also, who's still developing as a wrestler and who's fairly one-dimensional in the ring.
Yes.
It does nothing for him to put him in there with a guy who isn't exactly fucking known for anything really in the first place.
I know.
but for like, doing that kind of shit. Like, when you had Hook in there with like a Tony Nese, like why not do an extended thing with Tony Nese? That guy can teach some people some things. You know what I mean?
Tony Nese, JD Drake. There's a lot of wrestlers that aren't going to be main eventers in AEW who they can put in the ring opposite Hook to get them some quality experience. Mm-hmm. Zach Clayton's not popping any numbers. Mm-hmm. It's not. If you want to get Rampage numbers up, guess what? Give us good stories, interesting stories, and good matches, and put it in a different time slot.
Like, I'd love to say that it's surprising that Rampage very quickly sort of went from, oh, this is like a third hour of core programming, and it's clearly not now. Like, and we knew that was going to kind of happen because it's like, okay, well, it's taped, it's on Friday, it's in a shitty time slot. Like, they're not going to do much with it. And unfortunately, that's just, that's just the way it is.
Like the live Rampages, stuff happens there.
Yeah, but they're so few and far between.
I know. Then we got our customary pre-main event interview hosted by Mark Henry. So Ari Davari asked why he asked Orange Cassidy to join the Trustbusters. He said he asked Orange to join because he's one of the most talented wrestlers in AEW, and I'm investing my money in the best talent around. But if Orange doesn't want to join us, fine. I'll beat Orange's ass in my old dump of a hometown, Minneapolis. And Orange is about to do Mark Henry's catchphrase. And then Mark's like, whoa, hold on. He says it. Time for the main event.
Time for the main event. All right, Davari versus Orange Cassidy. This was good stuff.
This was a good match. This was a lot of fun. Orange gets the win with an orange punch. After the bell, Slim J attacks Orange. But Chuck and Trent, they get in the ring. They throw him out. Parker then drops Best Friends with the clothesline, hits them with some corner splashes, has a stare down with Orange Cassidy. Sonny Kiss hits the ring, stand next to Orange, and then kicks Orange in the balls. And then Parker hits Orange with his finisher. And then seemingly Sonny Kiss has joined the Trustbusters.
They just had a match against the Trustbusters.
I know. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
So the G1 had a couple more nights over the weekend.
Yes.
Nights 16 and 17 as it heats up. Man, Enforcer still with that wall. 12.
Got a good lead, but again, with the point values for wins in the semi and finals for our prediction going up, it's not an insurmountable lead still.
Yeah, right.
Let's go through the results, and then we can go through some scenarios that will lead to paths to victory for each of us.
Please.
So night 16, you got Ospreay defeating Yoshihashi, Shingo defeating Yujiro Takahashi, Cobb defeating Yano, Jay White beats Taichi, and then Kenta defeats Hinare. Night 17, Great Khan defeats Taichi. Kenta defeats Tanahashi. Lawler getting a huge win over Jeff Cobb, eliminating Jeff Cobb from the tournament.
Yeah.
And then Yoshihashi gets the win over David Finlay. David Finlay had a fast start, and it just fizzled completely. I think he only really needed to win one match, one of his last 3 matches, and he would have won the block.
Oh, man.
Anyway, so the scores right now. Steve, you have 86.
Nice.
I have 84, and Forcer has 96. There's one night left.
Yeah, but it's a big night. It's like a double night.
It's a massive night. So I ran a few scenarios. So your clearest path to victory, you need these things to happen. You need Naito to beat Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay.
He wins the block. You need Godo to beat Evil. That's the last match you and I differ on. We're in agreement on everything else on this last night.
Okay.
And you need Tama Tonga to beat Jay White, because Jay White is Enforcer's pick to win the tournament. If Tama Tonga beats him, I believe Tama wins the block.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Let me double check here something real quick.
All right, I'll keep
going.
going.
Yeah, you're right. Because right now Thomas sits at 8 points. Jay's at 10. So yeah.
If Tama wins, he'll have 10, but he'll have the tiebreaker because he won the head-to-head match. So if Zack Sabre Jr., this is easy for the Enforcer. If Zack Sabre Jr. beats Naito, he wins.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because we have.
Because then Zack wins the block. Naito is our pick to win the whole thing. He'll win. But if Naito beats Zack Sabre Jr., Evil beats Goto, and Tama Tonga beats Jay White, I believe you and me will end up tied if Naito wins the entire thing.
If Naito doesn't end up winning the entire thing, Enforcer still wins.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, man, that was cool. You broke it down pretty succinctly there, pretty effectively.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So both of us still need a lot. I mean, if Naito doesn't win the tournament, Enforcer wins.
We're out. Doesn't
it's
matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
That's the scenario. I mean, I think there's one match.
So
two matches.
For you to win,
yes.
Naito needs to win.
Naito needs to win.
The
Evil
entire
needs
thing.
to win.
Yeah. Evil needs to
and
win.
then Evil needs to win tonight, because if Evil wins tonight, you and I go into the semifinals tied.
Mm-hmm.
And then I need Naito to win, and then that gets me a tie with you at the end of G1. I would have to cash in Money in the Bank then.
Money in the Bank, yeah.
To win the month. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, lots of
so
intrigue.
Enforcer, you want Jay White to win and Zack Sabre Jr. to win. If that happens, you clinch. You win G1 predictions.
Mm-hmm. So he needs he needs what? He needs Zack Sabre Jr.
Actually, I think if Zack Sabre Jr. beats Naito, he wins, because that eliminates Naito from the tournament.
Eliminates Naito, yeah.
So if Zack Sabre Jr. wins tonight, Enforcer, you're good. You're good, because then Zack wins the block.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh boy. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight now.
Really?
Yeah. So much on the line. Not going to be able to sleep.
Well, a lot on the line. There's a lot on the line.
A lot on the line, Jack.
Yeah.
Anyways, also there's a Raw tonight. Triple H has bequeathed us a preview. We've got Bobby Lashley defending the United States title in a first ever showdown with AJ Styles. We've never fought, me and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
And this is for the U.S. title. I've had the U.S. title before. I've just never fought Bobby Lashley before.
That's correct.
Alexa Bliss and Asuka are going to take on Nikki ASH and Doudrop. Did you see that interview where Doudrop talked about she tries not to be, but she seems downright giddy over a potential name change.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she was like, it kind of made sense when we did it originally, but then it didn't make any sense, and I just want things to make sense. And so she says, the thing is, like, she's giving him the benefit of the doubt. She's basically saying, I'm doing a lot of paraphrasing here. She's basically saying, we've talked about it, talked about a name change. He's got a lot to do right now, but I have faith that he's going to come back around to me.
Interesting.
Yeah, man.
Interesting.
Here's the thing, though. It's very important that we base this decision off of two things. Two things very important: story and character. That's the only thing that matters here.
Oh man. Anyway.
And then we get Riddle to give an update on his future, an exclusive interview.
All right. Here's the thing, Riddle. This is the thing. Stop being so weird about Randy Orton. All right. There's two things that matter: it's story and character. Okay. We need to know who you are and why you keep obsessing over Randy Orton. I like Randy too. I think he's great.
But I don't mention him all the time.
I don't talk about him. I love Ric Flair all the time, but he's great. I mean, for the most part. But, you're not going to be talking about him all the time. There's two things that matter, real story and character.
Anyways. So we're going to answer questions over at the Friendo Club TV channel. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.